This is part three. This is the final part about what martial arts work and what don't. Okay, so as I said, what I was taught to do versus what someone else is going to teach you to do or involve in this whole gambit of fighting is I've been in a lot of street fights. And when someone goes to tackle you, as I said in the other video, knees to the sternum or the ribs, chest if that's all you can get, and elbows in the spine. Or somebody has you in a bear hug, you elbow them in the back of the neck, and you go for these bones right here. Because these bones are very bad to get hit in, you know. And the people who taught me said, those bones are the bones that you are either going to cripple or kill somebody with, and that's what you want to do. Because you don't want them to cripple or kill your ass when they're trying to body slam you in the back of your fucking neck. So, I would tell you that if you are going to get into a fight, you might want to know a lot about human body mechanics. And human body mechanics is simply this. The human body is designed to go one way or another. Your job is to go against the grain and go against that design of the human body so that when you are in a fight, whether it be in the street or whether it be in a controlled environment, you are to survive that fight. You want to survive that fight by any means necessary that does not involve you killing that person, even though you're in a ring and you've all signed all these waivers and everything. You want to be able to make damn sure that you've got it done right the first time around. And that way also your opponent will make damn sure that they're not going to come back and fuck with you. Because they're going to know that that was not the best idea that I've had. Now you gotta think that shit through. You really do. You have to think that shit through. And I will tell you as a fighter, I will tell you as a person, that fighting is only fun when you're in the victory circle. It is not fun when you're in the losing circle. Okay, so if you're in the UFC and you lose, you're still going to get paid. If you're in wrestling and you lose, it's pretty much staged that you're supposed to lose because the tone of the ring can turn at the top of a dime. If you're supposed to lose every match into the pay-per-view where you finally get your vindication. I'm probably just running that a lot for wrestling fans. I'm sorry. I'm a wrestling fan. But see, I know this and I'm still going to watch wrestling because I like the girls. Anyway, the whole point of it is that you're in a controlled environment. Where you're out in that street, it's not a controlled environment. It's an anything goes situation. And anything literally goes. So you need to know how to utilize what you've learned in the dojo out in the street. And these videos they're posting of what works and what doesn't work, or martial arts is fake and they'll never work in a real fight. And my real answer to that is that depends on who the hell you're fighting. If you're fighting someone who knows what the fuck they're doing, know their way around a fight, been in a few scrapes and scuffles, and know how to handle themselves and have a good recovery time, unlike this time, they're gonna fight back. As good as this thing tastes, they're gonna know how to handle themselves and how to handle you. A good teacher will tell you to never underestimate your opponent. To never think for a New York minute that he doesn't bring something to the table that you can learn from. When you are in a fight, respect your enemy's skills. Even if you win, respect his skills. Well, who made fun of something? It just didn't work when he tried to use it. Which is generally when the word epic fail goes across their head. But I would tell you, from the jump, a lot of fights aren't really won by great fighters. A lot of them are won by pure sure dumbass luck. And people would always talk to me and they would ask me, is it better to be lucky or is it better to be skillful? I'm a dumbass, so my answer is always it's better to be skillful. The truth of the matter is, it's better to be both, but you gotta be one or the other. Luck is not something that you can control, and skill is something that you can learn and improve on time and time again. If you're willing to put the work in, you're willing to get the skill. If you're not willing to put the work in, what you put into it is what you get out of it. So if you're willing to just lay on your fat ass and not train, then you're not going to be good. I haven't been able to train the way I want to train in the last 4 years because of this hip replacement. However, due to legal ramifications and due to the Army is not going to pay for this hip to get replaced, they owe me for my right for overcompensation, but they're not going to pay for my left again. I don't have health insurance, so I have to be really, really careful at how I train. And the doctors and the physical therapists are like, okay, well, you can train lightly, but you can't do any more wushu. So you can't do any of the flying shit. All your tornado kicks and shit, that shit's done. And I've been cautious and I've been careful and I haven't done any of that shit. Now, I tried to do it a couple of times and I felt it in my knees as well as my hip, so I don't really recommend doing that shit again. However, I'm pretty sure, as I've said this plenty of times, if my life depends on it and I get into a fight, I don't give a damn what the doctor says. I'm just going to take the risk, you know. And that's just the way it is because I'm old school. And I will tell you that the videos I've watched chunked out a lot of Shaolin Kung Fu, chunked out a lot of Kung Fu in general, and certain karates chunked out. And then it was like, okay, well, this is okay and this is okay. Well, here's the thing. I'm going to put it to you the way I see it. And I'm going to be honest about it. I'm not a ground and pounder. I'm an honor type man. And if I have to fight you, if you go down, I'm going to let you get up. Unless it's more than one of you. If it's more than one of you, if it's like 2 or 3 of you against me, then I'm not letting you get up. Because that only gives you a chance to recover, and your other opponents are going to be trying to fuck me up while I'm trying to make sure that you don't fuck me up. So if it's 2 or 3 of you, I'm not letting you get up. But I'm also going to make sure that when I put you down, you're staying down. If that makes sense to you, that means I'm hitting you in the throat or I'm hitting you in the sternum. I'm going to break an elbow. I'm going to break a kneecap. I'm going to do whatever the hell it takes to make sure that you don't get back up. But that's because it's more than one of you. If it's one of you and only one of you, and you're down but you're not out, I'm going to let you get up. And then I'm going to tell you one more time. Walk away. You've been beaten because I got you on the ground and I let you go. You've been beaten. Go away. Don't do this because it's only going to get worse from here. There's a reason why I brought that up, and I'll tell you by the end of the video. So, if you're still going to get up and be the aggressor, I'm going to have to finish you. And I'm going to finish you for good. I'm not going to kill you, but you're not going to walk away home without having to probably go to the hospital. And why do I say that? So when we moved over to Rougemont, after a summer of almost getting to fighting with a guy named C, who suckered me into boxing him, and we were boxing and we were pulling our punches, or I was pulling my punches, but every time he would hit me harder. And we taped up our hands and we put on the boxing gloves and tightened those damn things up as tight as they could get. And he was Mike Tyson and I was James Williams Jr. because I learned that being someone else when I was rugged Ronnie Garvin didn't really work out in my favor until I became James Williams Jr. So he was Mike Tyson. And he was hitting me harder every time. And he outboxed me. I ain't gonna lie. He was a good boxer. So you learn from the school of hard knocks sometimes. And this was him taking me to school. We were boxing behind Miss Ruffin's house. And my best friend, L, was like being a ref. And I kept complaining. I kept bitching like a little girl. And I said, hey, dude, you need to pull them punches. I am pulling my punches. I'm pulling my punches. And this was C telling me that he was pulling his punches. He was lying through his motherfucking teeth. You can tell when somebody's pulling their punches. And you can tell when somebody's hitting you harder every freaking time they tag you. He never really gave me any body blows. He just kept hitting me in the face. It takes a lot to piss me off. But if you keep hitting me in my ugly ass face, eventually I'm going to flip the hell out. So I need what little bit of looks I have. So he tagged me. For every one punch that I throw him, he hit me with 3 more of his own. So I hit him one good jab. Pop, pop, pop. Yeah, he rocked my head back. And each time that third hit would be the hardest hit. He'd just be throwing jabs. A couple of times he got me with a hook or two, but he mostly threw jabs. So I mostly threw jabs because I'm a kung fu guy, not a boxer. So I became a boxer that day though, for a little bit, and I could hang with him, but I couldn't outbox him. And he was just pop pop pop, and my head was like boom boom boom, and everybody's like, "Get him, James, get him!" And I throw a hook or an uppercut, and I nail him with one or the other, but I wasn't hitting him as hard as he was hitting me, which is what the difference maker was with me fighting his fight. And every time I hit him with one or two hits, he hit me with one extra. And he'd be like, if I hit him with three, he hit me with four. If I hit him with two, he hit me with three. If I hit him with one, he hit me with three. So, he was having his fucking fun at my expense. And then he hit me one more time. But he couldn't knock me out. He was doing everything he could to knock me out. And it just wasn't happening because I'm a kung fu guy and I'm pretty fucking tough. It's not like I haven't been hit in the face a few times. That's like, if you hit me hard one more time, I'm gonna kill you. And he said, I'm Mike Tyson. You can't kill me, bitch. And we got the box in that last round. He said, pop, pop. And that last hit, he hit me hard. I mean, he hit me as hard as he could, square in the face, like right here in the nose. And my eyes watered up from the tears. And I slung them goddamn gloves off. They were tight as hell. I couldn't untie them. And I slung them off and I said, you're gonna fucking die. Now we fight. Now we fight my fight. Yes, that was very sore sportsmanship of me. But we were supposed to be pulling our punches, and he just took it amongst himself because we were in gloves to be like, fuck the rules, dude. I'm just gonna hit you until I can't. And then he couldn't. And my dad's one of those old school guys. Don't make me call you twice. And my dad called me twice, which is what saved his ass. Because once those gloves came off my ass, I was going at him. And then I heard, James Edward Williams Jr., don't make me call you again. And first time, I didn't give a shit. And I was going to his ass. And as I drew my hand back, my dad called me again. I said, your life just got saved. And I ran the fuck over to that little green Cadillac. And my dad gave me the lip service ass whooping of a lifetime. And told me that I knew better. And that I shouldn't have been goaded into that. And that I let that kid see. How you doing, buddy? I let him goat me into that fight because he knew that I couldn't box my way out of a wet paper bag with 1,000 holes in it. He knew I couldn't box. He knew it. He knew I could do kung fu, but he knew I couldn't box worth shit. And he had me right where he wanted me because there was nothing I could do except for take that beating. And I took that beating. And I was mad as hell. And then I took the beating until I couldn't. No. Once he hit me that one last time with like that super hard hit, and I didn't bleed, but he only hit me in the face. He would not hit me in the body. He hit me in the face. He hit me in the face. And I guess he wanted to see if I had a glass jaw. But he kept hitting me in the face and kept trying to make me bleed, and it wasn't happening. But he also wasn't pulling his punches. And when I just snapped, I said, I'm going to kill this motherfucker. He wants a fight, I'm going to give it to him. And my dad stopped that from happening. Then my dad sent me in the house and told me to not speak to him, not box him, and if you can help it, don't play with him anymore. So as I'm going to the house, they're coming back in, and he was walking by me. And this is what got me in trouble. I said, let me tell you something, buddy. I said, I'm going to catch you when my dad ain't around, and I'm going to fuck you up. And right then and there, my dad said, Jimmy, get the fuck in that goddamn house. See, go home. I won't let him hurt you. But you did do wrong. It's not like I couldn't hear him tell you to pull your punches, and you didn't pull your punches. Now, I can't guarantee your safety tomorrow. But for today, he ain't coming back outside. And I got in that damn house, and my dad started chomping down my throat about how bad of a sports person I was for that. And I said, well, Dad, if you would have been playing fair. He said, son, life ain't fair. And when people can take the advantage of you, you bet your sweet ass they will. Because they can. And I didn't think of it back then. I didn't think of it back then as him taking advantage of me. I just thought of, me trying to be an honorable kung fu person versus a boxer. And so he won that match. And he not only won twice, he won 3 times. Because every day when my dad went to work, my dad would always tell me, don't go fucking with that boy. I said, nah, if I catch him, I'm gonna fuck him up. Nah, you're not. Leave him alone. I said, no, he needs an ass whooping. I said, because he didn't have to do that shit. You know. He's like, and you going after him, what does that make you? I said, well, it ain't gonna make me nothing. But it's sure gonna make me feel good when I rearrange his goddamn face. Since he was trying to rearrange mine, I figured it was a fair game. I said, this time, there won't be any fucking gloves. And this time, I'm going to use my hands and my feet. And my dad said, he said the one thing that has carried with me for quite some time. He said, you're a better fighter than him, right? And I said, I'd like to think so, except for after yesterday. He's like, you're a better fighter than him. Why do you think he did that? He did that because he knows he can't beat your ass any other way than making you do the one thing that all martial artists do. Honor your word. And that's how he got you. He fucked you over twice. He fucked you because he knew you were a martial artist. He fucked you because he knew you had honor. And he used both of those things right there to goat you into fighting his ass. So, you might be a better fighter, but you're the bigger dumbass because you walked right into that shit. And I had to let you do it because that's a lesson that you needed to learn. So what works in a fight? You have to fight to find out. But I will tell you what does not work. All that fancy shit doesn't work. And if you lose the one weapon that you have, the most important weapon is in this skull of yours. If you lose that brain during a fight, it's almost a given you're going to lose that fight. I lost my brain during that boxing match. I lost my cool. I flung off those gloves. And then my dad jumped into action about beating my ass if I didn't come the hell home. Now, earlier I told you about if I get you down, I'm going to let you go. So we're going to take a little trip to the future from that, because that happened first. And then when we moved over here, I had to stay at my dad's in Smithfield for an extra week because we had to figure out how to get to fuck here. So when I got here, we had 2 weeks or 3 weeks left before school, and we had got a dog. Now, I took the dog for a walk, and I didn't have any problems. I brought Kilo back home, hooked him back up, and I went back to the park because it was right behind our house. In the projects, I had to walk like 90 feet or so to go to a park. And we didn't have shit there. We had like some monkey bars, a teeter-totter, a merry-go-round, and some swings. At this park, we had the curly slide, the rocket slide, the monkey bars that looked like a cage, and some other shit. And those little single animal seesaw things. They weren't a teeter-totter, but they were the animals, and you could ride them back and forth. Hopefully somebody watching is young enough or old enough to understand what the fuck I'm trying to describe. And so I got into this park. And this young man, his name starts with the D. He's the biggest guy on the block that I saw. He was the biggest guy on Rougemont anyway. And I've gotten to the park and I'm looking and I'm just like bewildered by this shit. Because in the projects we had like maybe 4 instruments in the big kids park. And we had like maybe 12 instruments in the little kids park. And I was too big to play on the little kids shit. But not big enough to play on the big kids shit. But by the time we got over here, I was a little bit bigger, but yeah, there was no way in hell I was going back to the projects. Ever. Not by choice, anyway. So, I tried to leave the park. And this big burly bastard decided that I wasn't going to leave the park. And everywhere I stepped, he thwarted me from stepping. Okay? So he really didn't want me to leave this park. He wanted to make a statement. And I told him, I said, look, man, I don't want no trouble. I'm just trying to go home. Because at the time, the park fence was sealed up, and I didn't know about the other way, and you really couldn't go that way because the yard was covered with so much brush that you couldn't get through whoever's yard it was at the time. And so I stepped, and the guy decided that I wasn't going anywhere, and he went to grab me. And then I spun around the backside of him like a spider monkey and put his ass in a chokehold. And I told him, again, as I put him in the chokehold, I put my leg in the back of his knee. So I put my foot back here, and he went down to one knee, and I was hanging on to him like this. So his head's right here, and I got him in this chokehold from hell. And I said, look, man, I'm just going home. I don't want no problems with you. You don't fucking know me. You don't know who the hell I am, and you don't know what I'm capable of. All I want to do is go home. Now I'm going to let you go. Don't do anything stupid. So I let him go. He commenced to grab me again and wound himself right back in the same damn chokehold. But this time I put both my legs in the backside of his knees. So now I'm standing on his calves. And I got my legs in there. And I got one of my knees in his back. Because I got him in the chokehold and I'm reeling my knee into his back. And I said to him, what the fuck did I just tell you, dude? I don't have no problem with you. I just moved here. I just want to go home. Don't stop me from going home. I'm going to let you go one more time. And this is your first, last, and final warning that if you don't let me go home, the next move you make will be the last move you make because I'm going to fucking kill you. And he didn't listen. I did not kill him. He probably wished he was dead because I went from this chokehold to this cobra clutch where his head would be right down in here. See this little triangle right there? That's where his head was. And I was closing in on it. And I had both my knees in his back. And we were on the ground on our sides after he tried to grab me for the third fucking time. And I reeled back on his ass. And I'm holding back. I'm pushing this arm forward. I'm pulling this arm back. He's got like maybe that much neck room. And I'm choking the shit out of him. And my knees are on his back. And I said, God damn it. Now I got to fucking break your goddamn back and your neck. Because you won't let me go the fuck home. I said, you think because I'm a half-breed and because I'm only 5 foot 1 inches tall that you just gonna whoop my motherfucking ass, right? I said, you don't fucking know me. You don't know what the fuck I can do. You don't know the fucking training I've had. And you bigger than me. No court in the world gotta hang my ass out to dry for breaking your goddamn neck and your motherfucking spine because you wouldn't let me go the fuck home. So I'm choking him. He's coughing. He's got drool all over my arm, this arm, and I told him. And he's begging. He's saying, let me go, man, let me go, let me go. No, 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 no. See, I let you go 2 times. Not once, but 2 times before. And that's why we in this shit. Because instead of you taking your ass home, because nobody would have had to know that you got your ass beat, because I ain't bruised you up. Nobody would have had to know. All you had to do was let me go home. But you want to be a badass. You think you hot shit. And say all my fucking family members are in the fucking Navy or in the Army. And you think they ain't taught me how to fuck people up? So I'm choking him. And I'm choking him and I'm choking him. And he's fucking drooling and snot's coming out every damn thing. And he's about to start crying. I'm like, nope. You had your chance. And now you got my knees in your back. And you're about to get your fucking neck broke as I'm reeling on him. And he's thinking, I probably should have let him go. And I'm telling him, no, you had your chance. You got 2 chances, and now I got to send you to God because if I let you go again and you try something else, I'm going to regret not killing your ass. So he's begging for his life now. He's like, don't kill me, please don't kill me. I was like, no, you brought this on yourself. You the dumb son of a bitch that had 2 chances to go home. You had 2 chances. You had 2 chances to let the small guy, who ass you thought you was going to beat, go home. But not only did you try to grab me once, you tried to grab me twice. And I gave you a fair fucking chance the first time I put my knees in your goddamn back. But you didn't want to do that. Now you gotta pay. So drool and shit started getting on me. I started getting a little bit sick. So I was like, I don't like this shit. And that's pretty much was the deciding factor that I was gonna let him go. And so I told him, I said, look here. I'm gonna give you one last chance to let me go home. And he starts talking all that really badass shit. This is my block, and I rule this block. And I said, yeah, you're not ruling shit with my knees in your back right now. But here's how this is going to work. You can have fucking Rougemont. You leave me and my family alone, and you'll be just fine. But if you come anywhere near me, if you try to fuck with me or any of my family ever again, you won't live to see another fucking day. Okay, man, I won't bother you anymore. I promise, I swear. I don't believe you. Okay, I'm sorry. I said, no, see, we've been down this song and dance 2 times already. I mean what the fuck I say. If I get up and you get up and you try something, I'm going to break your goddamn spine. And you ain't going to be walking home. They're going to have to come down here and get you. Now, I don't know where you live at, but I live at 512 Rougemont. And I'm going home because I've only been here for 3 goddamn days. I ain't been here longer than you, but I'm going to tell you how this is going to work. I'm going to let you go, and you can rule everybody on Rougemont. But if you come near me, I'm going to fucking kill you. Okay? I'll let him go. And this idiot got up and walked the fuck home. He wiped all the snot off of himself and wiped the fucking shit up and got up and went home. And I'm wiping the shit off of me, and I went the fuck home. And Mom was like, why are your clothes all dirty? I said, oh, I just choked this dude out in the park 3 times. He's like, what? I said, hey, some dude tried to jump me in the park. I don't know who the fuck he was, but he tried to jump me in the fucking park. Say, why? I said, I don't fucking know. I ain't been home but 3 goddamn days, and this asshole tried to jump me in the park. I say, he didn't bother me when I had the dog, because I did see him when I was passing him by, but I didn't know who the fuck he was. So I went home. Right then and there, I learned 2 things about myself. I do have a little bit of a ground game, I just don't like it. But later, when I got into the Army, I realized that my little bit of ground game is just that. It is a little bit of ground game. When I started learning how to fight in Bravo, we did stand-up martial arts. It basically was Taekwondo, just it had a different name. When I got transferred to Delta, I started learning BJJ. I also learned how bad I suck at it. So yeah, I'm not too thrilled with Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I couldn't get that shit to work to save my life. But I can fight. And I headbutt people in the fucking shot. Now, when you headbutt someone in the nuts, they're gonna know it. And a lot of my partners really didn't like that shit. But as Instant Karma would have it, Fagin, hey brother, he hit me in the nuts with the Q-tip, the pugil sticks. Because nobody can fuck with me with the pugil sticks, because I'm pretty good with a bow staff. And the pugil stick is nothing but a homemade bow staff with Q-tips on the end. And that's how that worked out. But you know, as far as these videos are going where martial arts are fake and they can't help you in a real fight, as I close out, I say this. Go fight a martial artist. Go fight many martial artists. Go fight motherfuckers from the MMA category. Go fight people from the UFC. Go fight Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu dudes. And then you find out if martial arts is fake and what will and won't work in a real fight. The difference between a real fight and a fake fight is a really thin line. It's a really thin line. Because like I said, you know, if you have the technique, you don't have to be a great fighter. You just have to have a working technique. A technique that will work and will not fail you is better than a flash, flying high kick in a pan that probably will fail you. You know? And the thing is, these videos I'm watching, I'm not putting these guys down. I'm not doing that. I'm not here to insult anybody on YouTube. That's not my thing. I'm here to get fans and followers, but I'm also here to put down the truth. And I like telling the truth. At least 99.9% of it. And the thing with that is, you know, when you are in a fight, the situation is not something that you plan. It is not something that is thought out. It is reaction versus reaction. Because this guy's throwing a punch at you, you are reacting to that punch. Will you be able to do a Fujiwara armbar and drag him down to the ground? Well, that depends on how big that fucker is. Because, you know, if you're swift and you can get it using his momentum, yes. But if it's like me going against like Andre the Giant or The Giant or The Rock or Austin or Triple H, well, they're a whole 1.25 feet taller than me and they're a fuck ton stronger. So for it to work in a wrestling setting, then yeah, it's going to work because we worked that shit out to make it work. Now, in real life, I'm 5'3.5". I'm a $120. Those guys bench press that shit for breakfast. So me pulling a quick, fast Rey Mysterio move on them, Rey Mysterio outweighs me by like 50 some odd pounds. So that's why it would work for him, because he has more body mass and weight to carry it around. Me, on the other hand, if I do a spider monkey thing around The Rock or Triple H or something like that, or Brock Lesnar, they're just going to hold me up in the air. You know, it'd be like some shit you've seen on TV. They're going to ragdoll the shit out of me, and then I'm going to look like a damn fool. But if we're in the wrestling ring and it's supposed to happen that way, then yeah, it's going to work because it's supposed to happen that way. Provided that I don't miss my cues, miss my mark, and that everything works out smoothly so that I can bust a 619. Now, in real life, as long as I don't let these motherfuckers get their hands on me, like around my neck or something like that, then I'm in good shape. Substitution. I'm going to contradict that now. If they do get their hands on me, I actually know which fingers to pull to get their hands the fuck off of me. Your pinky, your middle finger, and your thumb are supposed to be your grip fingers. They're supposed to be the strongest fingers you have, depending on who teaches you what. Alright? But I know for a fact your pinkies and your thumbs are the easiest fingers to break. Because I've twisted a few people's pinkies and thumbs when they've had me in chokeholds. Because if you panic in a fight, you're going to lose. But if you can stay calm long enough to focus on what you need to do, then you probably won't die in the fight. I've fought no one my size in my life ever. I've only fought people bigger than me. And I've won them all. Lost a few sparring matches, but that's because they're sparring matches. They don't really count. But when you are in a real fight and you know what to do, you have a very slim chance of losing unless they get that first good real hit in. They put your ass to sleep. Now after they knock you out, it's not going to be a matter of what's done and what's not done. It's just going to be a matter of they knocked you out. Now are they going to have the honor to leave you there, or are they going to have the dishonor, fight dirty, and kick you while you're down and damn near beat you to death? Which is why I've also said that if I get you down and I let you go, it's done. Go home. Which is the story I just told before I start going off on the wrong thing with having the Rock and the ragdoll me. Now, if you choose to re-engage and I get you down again, this is kind of your fault. Which again goes back to the story I said about the park where I had to choke the guy out 3 fucking times. 3 times. You can choke me up one damn time and it's done. Now, if you let me up, I'm going home. I'm going to take that ass whooping, I'm gone. I'm not coming after you anymore. Because no matter how much pride I have, I'm not fucking stupid. You choked me out 3 times. You know, the first time, I was fucking brave. The second time, I was just stupid. And the third time would mean I was just a complete fucking idiot from the jump. I like to think that no one on earth is really that stupid, but as a person who has done this to someone more than one time, you'd be surprised at how stupid people actually are. So for the guys posting these videos about martial arts that are fake and what will and won't work in a street fight or a real fight or whatever you want to describe it as, my saying is simple. Get out there and go fight some experts. Go fight people who have honed in their challenges. The fight that I was watching before I decided to make this video was a Shaolin dude getting his ass kicked in the boxing ring. Alright? I didn't look at all of it because I read the title. I seen the Shaolin guy get hit one time and I didn't watch the rest of it because I know how this ends. Shaolin guy's going to get his ass kicked. Okay. So a lot of people don't understand that a lot of Shaolin training is mostly exercise. And Shaolin Kung Fu may have spawned Wing Chun, but Wing Chun was created for little people like me to beat up giants. Because Yin Wing Chun was a woman who stood maybe 5'1.5" tall, maybe 5'3" at best. Because I think back then the average Chinese woman barely made it over 5'1", just like today's average Vietnamese woman is 5'3". So if you're going to express yourself or put out the challenge that what works in a fight and what doesn't work in a fight, you're going to need to go out and actually fight people who's actually been in fights, that know martial arts, and that knows what works and what doesn't before you post these videos. Again, I'm not here to put them down. I'm just here to say that maybe it might not be the martial art that didn't work. It might just be the martial artist wasn't very good or as good as he thought he was, or his head was so hyped up that when he jumped in the ring, he got so excited that he forgot that there are some rules that apply in all fighting, and in the ring specifically, it is a controlled environment. You are not allowed to use certain strikes out of Shaolin Kung Fu to someone in a ring because you probably could kill them. No, and it wasn't a UFC ring. It wasn't a circular octagon. It was a square ring like wrestling with the 4 ropes instead of the 3 ropes. and the ropes with the ties in it. So it was definitely an Asian setting, and I'm pretty sure that it was sanctioned, and I'm pretty sure that there are rules that you cannot apply by, like kick to the teardrops in the front of your kneecaps to take your opponent off his game. Now, in a Thai fighting match, that's a legal kick. Now you're kicking straight above that knee into the femur, sir, to knock them off balance and set them up for whatever the hell you're going to do. Now, why do I know this? Because I've studied a lot of this shit. And I can tell you right now, if I push front kick your knee while you're running at me, you're going to keep coming forward. And if you can't recover and stick your arm out to throw a jab, then you're going to go down on your face. And if you're going down from my push kick to your leg, I'm going to bring my knee up to your chin. Because I'm trying to end this shit quickly before you beat my ass. Otherwise, again, if you want to know what works, or why certain things don't work, I advise you to go and find martial artists and fight them. But don't fight the novice. You go into that school and you find the black belt, you find the sensei, and you challenge them. In closing, there was a Gary Daniels movie. I can't remember the name of it to save my life, but it was Gary Daniels and Chuck Jeffries. And in this movie, this dude with these two iron fingers was going around beating the fuck out of martial artists. And this movie made me want to do that. It really did, because I don't like being a bad guy, but this movie made me want to do that to see if my skills are not only equitable, but if the martial artists here in Charlottesville was as bad as they claim they are, especially like these black belt motherfuckers that wouldn't let me come train in their dojo at the International Black Belt Center and other places. I named that one specifically because they're the only ones that didn't respect me and kicked me out of their dojo without prejudice when I tried to get martial artists for a movie. So, I seen that Gary Daniels movie and I thought to myself, I bet you I could do that. I bet you I could go and beat up all these so-called champions. And I thought about it for a long time. Of course, at the end, Gary Daniels and Chuck Jeffries killed this guy. So that really wasn't the ending I was looking for. But it was a good movie. It was a good ending. And thank you, Gary Daniels, and thank you, Chuck Jeffries, because you did make movies that made people think. And that was one of the things that made me think. Because there are a lot of people who have black belts who probably should not be wearing them to begin with. As a martial artist, as I tell people, if you're going to learn a martial art, first, your teacher has to have great credentials. Second, your teacher has to be willing to invest his time in you so that my neck looks wrinkly. Sorry, that was completely off cue. But secondly, the teacher has to be willing to teach you what you need to know and not just try to collect a check. Or as some of the students at my Saber Night Light class with my sensei know McDojos, which means, we're setting up dojos just to get money and to feed you and keep you from achieving your ultimate goal, which there are a lot of dojos that are like that. And, I wish that I could train the way I used to and that I could teach people the things that I teach people. Sometimes I don't really get paid for it because I can't, but I also will teach people what I know they need to know. And I tell them all the time, if you go home and practice, you ain't never got to see me again. I said, not really. And they were like, what? I say, I can teach you in 2 months something that you can use for the rest of your life, and you'll never have to come back to me or any dojo if you do 2 things. First, believe in yourself. Second, you must practice that shit religiously. You have to know when to use it, how to use it, why it works, why it won't work, who it will work against, what it won't work against. And the reason that is because if I'm not teaching you something you can use, then I haven't taught you shit. I've taught you how to exercise. You don't come to school to learn how to exercise. You exercise at home. You come to school to learn how to fight. Preferably, the words used more intelligently, you've come to school to learn how to defend yourself. However, I keep it real. I came to school to learn how to fight. And I don't have any bad intentions when I say I want to learn how to fight. But I want to learn how to make sure that somebody doesn't beat my ass on a daily basis because they can. You guys have fun. And you guys think about that. If you think that some martial arts will or won't work, that's fine. If you want to lay down videos on why they will or won't work, that's fine. But if you haven't actually gotten your ass out there and recorded yourself going against people who are Shaolin or Thai fighters or BJJ guys and stuff like that, then you have literally no proof just because you see a video here or a video there. That martial artist just might not be that good. That's pretty much the simple solution to that. That martial artist may not be a great martial artist. Or he may be an ace who just went against a bigger ace. Right? Because there's always going to be somebody more prepared for a fight than you. Now, I put it that way in the words that I choose to say, where most people, when they go to these schools, they're always going to pitch this line. And I don't believe this line. This line is there's always going to be somebody better, somebody faster, somebody stronger than you, which is 1,000% true. However, it's a false narrative because just because someone is bigger, better, faster, and stronger than you does not mean that they can beat you. It just means you need to work harder and be prepared to be beaten. If you are not prepared to be beaten, when you are beaten, it's going to be a shock to your system. How bad of a beating you take is the outcome of that somebody being bigger, faster, stronger, or better than you. This right here decides that. And then it transfers to these things here and these things. I'm not flexible enough. These things here. But if you are a weak fighter, or if you are a novice, or you've never really been into a really decent knockdown, drag out brawl, then you're probably going to get your ass kicked. If you have been in a couple of them and you've gotten your ass kicked, then you know what not to let happen again. Life is simple. Don't make it any difficult than it has to be. I'm James Williams Jr. It's Comfort Advocate number 2. Be seeing you.